right, Trevor, what do you think?
So it was 35. What was it last time again?
3560.
3560.
With cherry bombs on it and a full tank of gas. We're sitting here at half a tank of gas now, which is about 9 gallons. And then we don't have any mufflers on it right now. And there's some miscellaneous stuff laying around in the back seat. So probably about 15 pounds worth of stuff in the back seat.
I'm gonna go with 3445 or 3545.
I'm gonna go with 3500 flat. With me in it, I weigh about 200 pounds, like 190-ish, so we're gonna go find out. Motor, decent sized cam. They're Vortec heads, but they've been worked on, and makes probably about 420-ish.
That one my boys got. It's fucking nuts.
Is it?
Yeah.
Does he race it?
No.
No.
383 stroker. About 500 dollars.
Wow,
Yeah,
yeah.
it scared the shit out of me.
Yeah. Well, let me see that number right there.
You having midlife crisis? I am. Okay.
3540.
Nice, I like it.
Pretty close.
Trevor said 3545. I said 3500. So 3540. It's not bad. It's less than last year.
It's less than last year. Yeah. I don't think you can take too much out of it.
No, I mean there's a little bit of stuff we could take out of it, but we like to keep it looking original. So. It's got heavier tires on it than it did last year because it had street tires. Now it's got a half slick on it. So. All right, Trevor, so you heard it from the man himself. What did it weigh without me in it?
So with nobody in it on the scale by itself, it came in at 3340 on the dot.
Wow. And there's a duffel bag full of clothes, jumper cables, miscellaneous stuff in here. Got about a 6-pound firearm here. And I gained a little weight over the summer, so 3540 with me in it. Minus everything else. Might take the back seat out for race day.
Yeah.
But yeah, stick around because we're going to go mess with this thing and get it romping on the street. So we're going to include some clips of that later on. All right, so we're here at Home Depot. We're gonna get a lock nut for this alternator bracket because when the motor's introduced to RPM, the belt likes to loosen up and it's left us stranded on the highway a couple times. So the simplicity of this setup here, we're just gonna take this nut off this alternator bracket, spin it off, take it inside and match it up to a nut. It's a built-in hand warmer right here.
Yeah.
All right, so we just need to go inside and match a nut up to that thread there so that we can get a lock nut for it.
So follow us into good old Home Depot.
So that's it. This is the wrong type of nut for it.
All right, so we found this little nut in there. Closest we could find ended up being 7/16 by 14, correct?
Yeah.
So hopefully this solves our issues. We're gonna tighten this up and retension this, and then we're gonna go from there and see if the alternator bracket wants to slip when it's introduced to some RPMs.
Yeah, trying to take care of everything we can before we go to the track because we want this thing running in tip-top shape.
That's what I was about to say. All of this is really just race prep. We're about to go over to a buddy's house to see if he can put his little magic fingers on this thing and make it run a little bit better. We may end up rejetting the carburetor. And then we're probably going to go out and make some street hits at a desolate location off the border of United States and Mexico on the Mexican side.
Mexico City. So after he put the timing light on it and put the fuel screws at 1.5 out, the car seemed to run a little bit better. The car seemed to run a little bit better, I'd say. Pulls more at the top.
I'll tell you what, let's do this. I'm on.
Alright guys, so it's currently 9 o'clock. We just got done at our buddy Scott's. We never met the guy. Dax seen him out. I heard of him around town. He's got pretty good knowledge that he passed down to us. And you know, he does what we're doing now, but he's been doing it for longer. So it definitely a good experience to go over there and get his second thought. And he's got some good ideas for us. He's going to be at the track most likely, he said. So with all that being said, we got the car tuned a little bit. We got a timing light on it. It's sitting at about 30 degrees total without the vacuum advance. So that's not in effect until, you know, we go and make vacuum through the engine. And so we got the fuel dialed in a little bit better. We made some small adjustments on the accelerator pump so that, you know, the power and the throttle is just instant instead of having a delay. So with that being said, we're pretty hyped. The track day is in, it's supposed to rain all day tomorrow, so there's really not much to be had tomorrow. We're going to go and pick up some race fuel before it gets packed. We're going to do that the night before so we don't have to wait for everybody in their cars, because it's going to be really packed out there. The first event of the year. And so with, like I said, with all that coming into effect, we're going to do some critical tuning when we get out to the track, because we pretty much have the car dialed in. If you guys didn't know before, we had 323 gears. It was a smaller stall. We had a mystery carb that, you know, worked when it wanted. We set the timing by ear, and the car didn't 60 foot as well. It spun, it had different tires. So with that being said, we're brainstorming and thinking like the best possible outcome for the mods. We put a lot of back-breaking hours into the car, and we really want to open this thing up and stretch its legs, because we ran a 1290 with more to come. We just cut it short due to the track closing. So the old setup, we're just sitting here thinking, you know, like a 1250 would have been probably doable with a good tire in our last setup. So what's it going to run now? So that's the cool thing we're kind of discussing as we're sitting here. And we really hope that this thing does a low 12 right out of the box, because like I said, the mods before, it even had more in it. A 323 gear is not ideal for what we were doing, and it ran a 1290 with that gear. So this has us on the edge of our seat. Hopefully it has you on the edge of your seat if you've been sticking around through the Camaro build for its entirety and see where it's come. So yes, Saturday morning, watch this video and be prepared for the Saturday video. It's gonna be up and above. We're gonna try to do with as much as we've learned and all the helping hands and the knowledge of the old heads. We're gonna squeeze as much as we can out of this. We're taking it a step above, because in the future this car might be a bracket racing car, or we might break into the 11s with this setup and we just want to go even further. So thanks for sticking around. Do not miss the next video, and watch this video to follow up, because it's going to be an absolute wild video. And we're going to have, for the first time, another racer with us who might even run his car out, and he can show us a thing or two. So stick around, like, share, you know the saying, comment, and leave us your feedback, and we'll get back to you, and enjoy.